You may have realized that being healthy feels different than it did in the past now that you're over 50. If you want to maximize your health potential but don't have time to read through overwhelming pages of Google links, this is the show for you. Welcome to Healthy Tips After 50. We love doing the research, finding solutions, talking to health experts, and learning what works and what doesn't. Now, your host. She spent the last 25 years dedicated to feeling her best and is here to share her best findings with you, Susan Rosen.
Hello, everyone. This is your host, Susan Rosen, and I have a special guest today, and her name is Wallis Pattinsonn. Is that right? Did I get that right?
That's it.
Good. Okay. I forgot to ask. And Wallis is quite an incredible woman, and she has done a lot in her life, and she's still doing a lot. And I would like Wallis to tell us a little bit more about some of her projects that she's working on right now, and what she wants to tell us, those of us that are getting older here.
Yeah, getting old is the word. Thank you, Susan, and it's a pleasure. It's great. I love it. I love chatting with people. I love sharing, and hopefully that if your listeners have some takeaway today for themselves that will be of help to them, or be uplifting, then I've done my job. And,
I'm sure
that'd be great. Fabulous.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm really about, as we were talking, earlier, I'm really about, redefining retirement, so to speak. I'm all about the silver economy, and I'll explain that in a minute briefly, but the silver economy and creating a hustle for yourself, or a side hustle, maybe along with something you're already doing because you haven't quite yet made the transition to, to giving up your job or walking away from that, or doing something else, or maybe you're looking to do something else. And there's a myriad of wonderful opportunities out there in the marketplace for those of us who now are getting a little bit older, and we have the experience and the know-how and often the skills, to turn that into something that's worthwhile and be really helpful to people, and monetize it. That's one of the big things. It's great to do things, but I'm not specifically talking to people about, creating a hobby business for themselves. I really would like people to, earn some dollars. I'd like you to make money and make enough money to invest, and make enough money to, live a fabulous lifestyle. And it's like I say to people at times when they ask me about, well, what are you about? What do you like? And I said, well, really sum it up. I like fabulous. I like everything fabulous. If I air travel, I like to do it in style. I like fabulous. I like everything. I like fabulous. And more of it is wonderful as well. Give me more. So, so that's about me. I'm all about fabulous and having a fabulous life. And to do that, you need to have money.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have enough to do that on. And, like I said, well, really, I just want more of what I have. And that doesn't mean that I'm looking to pile up more in that sense. But I guess that, if I summarize it, it's really about sustainability. I'd like to sustain, as a lot of us would. We'd like to sustain what we have. If we feel that that's not enough, well, then we'd like to have some more. But we certainly, for some of us, we certainly don't want to go backwards. We don't want to go on some tight budget. If there's two of us, we don't want one of us to go naked and the other one not eat. We want to have... we want to have sustainability. So we want to sustain what we already have. And if that has a measure of, comfort and all that in it, well, we want that. We want that. And so, that's something that we've worked out. And I think as we get older, we work those things out for ourselves. So going back a little bit, just briefly coming through my life, I feel blessed and fortunate in some ways to have been born with, to have bought with, and everybody has it, something. Mine just happens to be that I came with this fairly entrepreneurial, innovative, creative spirit of mine that I brought along, that obviously tagged along because it needed to experience more of that. And so right from when I was a kid, around 9 years old or whatever, I raised guinea pigs, little guinea pigs. I loved them all.
Oh, wow.
I raised guinea pigs, and I used to sell those for 5 shillings or 5 bob, as we called it when I was a kid. When it was, we had that imperial, pound
Right.
pence, and which we didn't change in Australia until the 60s. And so we I sold guinea pigs, and then I raised pigeons. To my mother's total, she used to just roll her eyes and walk in the opposite direction because I was a real tomboy. I had 2 brothers. I have an identical twin sister. I wanted to be a boy. I wanted to be a boy. So I played football, created my own, footy boots with stops in them. And, my father was, when my father used to come home, we had our own business, our trucking business. And my father used to be away a lot. But when he came home, he couldn't cope. You could see him withdrawing to the never nevers. So I was a bit of I suppose in a way, a difficult child for my parents because they couldn't pigeonhole me. They didn't quite know what to do with me.
Yeah.
And, what do you do with this girl who wants to be a boy, who wants to do all the boy things? But I saw such freedom in that, which is why I wanted to be a boy. They were doing the things, and they were going to experience for me the sort of life that I would have preferred. I didn't particularly subscribe to, girls were sat on the side. You didn't worry about giving education. They didn't need it. All that nonsense. So I was brought up during those times. So I was always entrepreneurial, and that carried on into my young adulthood and then into adulthood. And I've tried, I couldn't even count how many. I've tried so many entrepreneurial endeavors. Some have been, reasonably successful. Some have been horrendous failures. But, I think the trick there is to, get up, dust yourself off and keep going, keep pursuing, keep on keeping on with, who you are. Don't allow others, and I did for a time, you allow others to interfere in that, and other people who have got opinions, and everybody's got an opinion.
Yeah.
I won't, I have another saying behind that, which is probably, I won't share that on air, but, everybody's got an opinion, and just, you have to learn to rise above that, and at all levels in our life, and that also includes as we age. And I was talking this week earlier on a podcast with a gentleman, and one of the things that we were sharing was the fact that it's not like, you're young and there's these young people and then suddenly enters this older person. This is the same person, and we're evolving. We're going into this aging process, and I guess it's like a new bike or a bicycle. We have to learn to ride it again, or we have to learn to ride it. And there's no manual for that. We just simply have to be, we just have to be aware that with that comes, some different things. So to get into whinging and whining about nobody listens to me, nobody cares, I feel like an old person over in the corner, la, la, la. No, I'm not seen. Put your hand up and start making that change to being seen. And the way that we get to be seen is to live our lives with the ability to say no when we need to. We don't need to be rearing other families. We don't need to be rearing. I did for a few years, help with my one of my daughter's, children, build a career, and that went on too long. But I look at it all and I go, just learn to say no and make life about yourself. And it's not selfish. It's not being at the detriment of anybody else, because if you're happy, everybody else will be. And, it's
Absolutely.
like I just said to my daughter, I've got 2 daughters and a son, and I'm a bit estranged from the son at the moment, as we all go through these phases in life. Where,
Yes.
we
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
we say who we are, and we stand up for who we are, and we put our hands up. And I think that, that's very important. That's a very important element as we get older. And we are going to live or outlive with this aging population and this phenomena that's going on with aging. We are going to outlive our money. So my thing is, make money, make more money so that you'll have more choices. You don't want to get along the road a bit and go, oh, oops, I don't have, the choices I'd like to have. Have choices, create choices for yourself, and only you can do it. So there's many, many opportunities out there. I'm just setting up a new website for myself, apart from Bold Not Old. I'm setting up a website under my own name, and that's all about giving people some information and creating some links and affiliates and all sorts of stuff around, opportunity to lots of opportunities that are available. And there are, lots of them. And you might have to, learn a few things. But, as I said to people, I've spent an inordinate amount of money educating myself or further educating myself, learning things, skilling, only to realise at the end of the day that there is so much out there for free. Do those first. Do all the freebies first.
Yeah.
And, if you're interested in something particularly, get on YouTube, Google it, do the freebies first. And then if you feel that you want to learn a little bit more, or you come across somebody who maybe can help you or teach you or, whatever, through that, well, then take a look at that. Do all the freebies first. Don't hair off at a minute's notice like I used to. But that was also linked to, not feeling good enough either. I'm not good, which we all suffer from in some shape or form until we don't. And that's I went through all that for a number of years until I did. And
right.
So,
and then you went, this is bullshit, and I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah, this is a load of crap. How much more do you need? So that's been a learning curve for me as well, as I'm sure it is for
everybody. Yeah.
I'm not good enough. My excuse, the stories, we have beautiful stories we build, and they become our truth. And of course they're not, they're just a load of rubbish. But we get pretty entrenched in what we feel are our truth. And so, we feed ourselves, all the crap around, oh, well, no, I just need this piece. When I've got this piece and I've added this, it'll be more rounded, and I'll know a bit, and I'll feel more comfortable. I don't want to be wafting and it's crap. If you need to, get out there and waft to learn. I don't know, do whatever it is that you need to do, and don't get too much into your head. I'm a head person, so don't get too much into your head about all the rest of the rubbish, because at the end of the day, it's just a load of crap. So I'm an encourager. I'm all about the silver economy, which is this economy that has grown out of this aging population that we have. And there's some really innovative, creative, like from your perspective, from health, nutrition and those things. I mean, we were talking about when you first started and what was available, what was around. Well, that sure as hell has come a long way.
Yeah.
And it's changing constantly, mindfulness, and there's, in Singapore and those areas, there's companies that are creating, different types of delivery systems for meals, different types of meals. They're reinventing at the moment the sorts of things that they're making food out of. It's mind-boggling. And all of this, or a lot of this, is to accommodate this aging population. And the survival and in what way that population, because it's a massive economy, in what way that population, their needs. And you get it in cruise lines. I mean, I always refer to cruise ships. You've got cruise ships and cruise lines that are catering, for people who are a little bit older and what they want, and what they need.
Absolutely.
You've got cruise lines like Viking who are, have cruises that, no casinos, no kids. And, for some of us, that's great. I love kids. I think they're great, but I don't want to go on holidays with them. I just...
Especially not on a ship where you can't get off.
And, that's all, horses for courses. I mean, you might be a grandparent who wants to go on a cruise with, all your grandchildren. Of
course, so you can watch the grandkids,
And there are cruise lines that cater for that. So, the world's changing. And I think the biggest challenge for those of us that are getting a little bit older is that we're fortunate, incredibly blessed and fortunate on one end of it, because we've come through a time when we've got, a juxtaposition of ideas and things. We've lived through times where we've got huge, massive comparisons, and it's wonderful. But for some of us, we're stuck. We're stuck there. And the moving forward is, the challenge. But we come with great skills. We come with great knowledge. We come with great understanding. And you can't put an old head on young shoulders. So we come with the experience. And that's a wasted resource, a massive, wasted, underutilized resource if we don't use it. So bring it forward to the world. We have 7 or 8 million people. Bring it to the world and share it, because what the hell else are you going to do with it?
Exactly. And the other thing too is if you're feeling a little not real confident about it, go volunteer. Take your skill set and do it for free for a while, and build up connections and build up your own confidence.
Absolutely.
In what you're doing.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And, there's a whole bunch of things in the silver economy area. There's a whole bunch of side hustles that, you don't need money and skills to initiate. There just is a myriad of opportunities. I mean, there's online areas, there's online publishing, there's just so much, and all this new AI area. I was talking to one of my girls has got Parkinson's, and
I'm sorry.
she was diagnosed about 7 years ago, so she's young. And anyway, I was just saying to her yesterday, with all this new AI stuff, I said, and she still is a yoga teacher, and I said to her, yoga and Parkinson's, it's a wonderful thing. I said, so, I said, Lizzie, I said, you could put out a book. You could put out a book on Amazon. I think Amazon, in the downloadable area, I'm not talking Audible, I'm just talking downloadable, stuff like that. I think this might be stretching it a bit. It might be per week, but I think it's per day. It does about 77 million. And, if you want to earn some money, turn what you know into a 120-page book, and there's a formula for that. But there's just things you can do with what you already have, and there's just so much opportunity. People go, I don't know, what can I do? There's lots you can do, loads. You can help someone else. If you don't want to do it, and you know how to do it, help someone else do it.
Yeah, you do. You write it up and let somebody else put it together and put it out on Amazon and give you a piece of it.
You can do it. Ghost it. You can ghost write it. I love writing, so writing's my thing. And I've done quite a bit of publishing over the years. And but you could. There's just things you can do. I mean, the problem is that if we get stuck in this I'm not enough thing.
That's right.
The ongoings from that is, well, nobody would want what I've got, even if
Right.
I convince myself I have
Yes.
something. Who would want it?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Well, we have so many billions of people on this earth that there has got to be, 100,000 that are going to be interested in your book out of those billions. And you can make a hell of a lot of money from that.
Well, I can tell you now, I promise you, the figures are not even that high. If you had 1,000 good followers, you'll be rich. You can make yourself incredibly wealthy beyond your imagination if you had 1,000 followers, 1,000 loyal followers. It's incredible. It's incredible. Opening our mind to what's possible is really, really important. And not being a spectator. And I mean, we hear it. It's all trite and kitsch. I get it. But it's true. It's true. Just, just be in the game. Stay on the field. You don't have to be running flat out. But beyond the playing field, beyond the field of life, be on the stage, be present, keep going, because it's so incredibly important to our well-beingness. And science has proved that, if you've got a purpose and a reason to get out of bed and a reason to get up, it'll add 12 and a half years to your life. And I put my hand up and said, I'll take it.
Yeah, for sure.
We were talking this morning, I might have to have a knee replacement, which I've just had. But, so what? I become the bionic woman. So what?
Well, you know what? The incredible thing is that we live in a day and age where they can do that.
Or with robots.
Right?
I'm blown away. I'm like, whoa, what the? Who would have thought? I mean, if you talked about those things when I was a kid, people would have thought, gee, they're watching too many, bloody sci-fi movies.
Well, that's like, when we were growing up, we didn't have these kind of things. We didn't have an iPhone or any other kind of, phone. You had to go and use the phone that was on the cord. You didn't even have the kind of ones.
Now we don't even have those. We don't have one of those. We don't have that sort of phone in our house.
Yeah.
We just have, mobile phones. Yeah. It's a computer. I mean, there it is. It's a handheld computer. Your banking, everything is on that phone. I go into a place, double click it, the card's on it, pay for it, and it's like, whoa, what the? People look at me like, whoa, she's bloody, she's up with it. And I think to myself, well, I'm not a moron.
This is not rocket science, even though everyone thought it was.
This is for these people up to this age.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just phenomenal. So I'm just really encouraging your listeners to reassess, sit down, get a grip, take another look at what you want. Don't stop dreaming. Don't stop aiming for the moon. You'll still be among the stars. Just do it. Just be involved, be in life. And as you said, Susan, if you're not sure, go and do a bit of, community work and see if it's something you like. A bit like kids take a gap year. Why do kids take a gap year? Because they want to go off and experience and see if that's what they really want. So they don't spend an inordinate amount of money on something.
Or time.
After the first year, they go, oh, oops, I hate this. So same principles, same things.
Absolutely. Yes, the same thing. Well, it's so funny because we're all very easily will give advice to other people.
Oh, correct.
Right? But we never listen to our own advice.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we can all say, yes, we do that. Okay.
Oh, yeah. We just have this thing about, it applies to everybody else, but not necessarily.
Exactly. Yeah.
But the one good thing about aging and getting older, I believe, is getting to this stage in life, Susan, where we've parked our egos I mean, I have a healthy ego, don't get me wrong, but we've parked our egos to a large extent.
Yeah.
And we don't worry so much or care, and we shouldn't, but we don't also care about what others are saying or thinking or whatever. Right. We're more able to, I mean, I'm outspoken, I suppose some people would say, but I'm who I am, and I just tell it as it is. And, look, I'm not going to please. I'm not for everyone. It's like I said to someone recently,
well, of course not.
I'm like, and for me, I love licorice, but I'm like, a good piece of licorice. I'm not for everyone, but those who love licorice can't get enough.
Well, you can count me in the don't like black licorice.
I
cannot. From the first time I tasted it, just how something it's like yeah. Red licorice is fine, but that doesn't really count as licorice.
I think it's a bit like in Australia here with Vegemite,
Yes, exactly.
If you like licorice, you probably like Vegemite. So I think it's funny. But the analogy of
I know. No. I'm just confirming. Exactly. No. I'm just confirming. Because that's exactly
none of us are for everyone. I mean, if that's what you're looking for, well, knock yourself out.
Oh my God!
But we're not.
Well, and how many hundreds of billions of people are on this planet? You don't need to find very many of them.
There's the people that we're attracted to what we need at the time when we need it. The
Absolutely.
Old song, pupils ready, the teacher arrives. So, you'll tune into something, you'll hear something, you'll come across somebody. It's all there when you need it. And if that's what you need at that time, that's it. That answers the next step, and the next step, and the next, And
that's
as you evolve and move, and, you find yourself moving ahead. And, I think it's incredibly important to ride along on the back of, this sort of awakening and understanding and learning more, because that helps you to the next level, and opens up, more opportunities for ourselves and more understandings. The more we understand about ourselves personally, better. So,
yes. No, I think you're.
You can't. I mean, if the advice coming through to you is from your intuitive self, grab it. Hang on.
Yes, and run with it.
If it's just a whole lot of head chatter, and it's a head scribble,
right?
Toss it aside. But if you honestly feel it's coming through intuitively to you, follow it. I'm a great one for following our intuitive.
Yes.
I'm a great.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It's definitely something that we have. It's a guide. It's a guiding light, and it's a bit like a muscle. You've got to keep using it, and depending on it, it grows and becomes stronger. But it's a great thing. So
I agree.
Yeah. So I'm encouraging. I'm encouraging your listeners to, to explore. Just explore more. Explore the possibilities. And it may be that you already have a job and you might be in your 50s. But, you might also be hearing, murmurings about age and all sorts of other stuff going on. And you think, whoa, wait, hang on. I'm only 50, whatever. But, it sets in fairly early. Just be aware, prepare yourself and go, well, I'm in the guiding light. I lead my own life. I'm the one who makes the decisions about it. I'm the one who lives this life. Nobody else is paying my bills. Nobody else is going to give me the sort of life that I want. I have to provide that for myself. And I think the sooner we come to terms with that, the better off we are. Because nobody else is going to provide it. We're it. Put our hand up. We're it. And whatever that means, whatever we need to learn, whatever we need to get through to make that happen for ourselves, that's it. That's the way it is. It's called life. It's called living. And it can be a load of fun. And it can be a lot of, take
it and run with it.
There's loads of people out there to be helpful, and loads of people out there too. There's loads of kindred spirits. There really are.
That too.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. Yep. Well, so, I think on that positive note, maybe we should
would like to learn. I'll jump in here before we finish. If people would like to learn a little bit more about, what I'm about, I have I'll call it a podcast on YouTube, Wednesdays with Wallis. Please go and subscribe. I certainly need.
It's great. You got to go listen to it.
Subscribe to that, and then I'm setting up a new website, wallispattinsonn.com, for all of the area of the silver economy and side hustles or hustling. And of course, I have my website, which I've had for a long time, which I've been redoing over this last while, which has a membership attachment, which I think is about $12 US a month. I'm just finishing setting that up and putting in a whole bunch of things in there for membership that you can have access to, including a wonderful set of Soul Wisdom Oracle cards that I put together a few years ago. So there's a lot of things in there for members to access and grab, and that's about $12 US a month, which applies to your people. Australians about $19.97. So I'm just setting up a membership in Bold Not Old, and that's boldnotold.com.au, and that's a fabulous thing to be part of as well. So all those areas are growing, and very soon I'll have some more books up on Amazon to download.
All right.
Yeah. So
you're a busy lady.
boldnotold.com.au, and the podcast Wednesdays with Wallis. Please subscribe. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, and thank you, Wallis, for coming on. And I have to always say that neither of us are doctors, not that we really talked very much about health, but this is not to be seen as health advice anyways. So, and with all of that, I will be talking to all of you next week.
This has been Healthy Tips After 50 with Susan Rosen. To stay on the cutting edge of the most effective health strategies, subscribe to this podcast and let us know what you thought of the show with a comment or like on iTunes. Visit healthytipsafter50.com for this episode's show notes, more resources, and free offers.